You're so special.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I hate it!
Mm-hmm.
Every time I type in AEW, it automatically changes it to new.
I ripped the skin.
Oh my god, I fucking bullshit.
A good steering wheel that doesn't fly off while you're driving.
Damn straight. All right, we ready for this preview segment?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so coming up this Saturday, we're going to be going to Twitch like we've teased and talked about doing for so long. Hopefully, we'll do it on a more regular basis. But we're going to go to Twitch for AEW pay-per-view. We're going to be providing a live commentary watch-along stream. Multimedia extravaganza. You'll be able to call in if you'd like. Also, the other ways, email and Twitter and all whatnot.
Yeah, tweet us during the live stream. That would be really handy.
There's a whole card full of matches, and yeah. So we should go through some of this real quick, right? Maybe
yeah,
give
go
us
through
some
the
predictions. Should I go from the bottom to the top, like
Yes.
the opening to the main event?
Yeah, do that.
So we'll start at the bottom. So they just set it up this last weekend. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Okay. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
It's funny. I was gonna. So I've been thinking about this the whole time when we were thinking about doing this. How, in a way, not having a pay-per-view every month has really hurt the like the excitement over someone like CM Punk on a show, where it's like now he's been on TV a bunch. There's really no there's not an excitement. There's nothing special about it, and it's I just feel like this is only his second pay-per-view match, and it doesn't.
And it
feel
should be his
like
second
anything.
or third match. Like, he's had too many matches in between. It was one thing to have his match against Darby Allen, which was good.
And it was on pay-per-view.
Yeah, and he should be scarce.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be doing weekly matches on television.
She really shouldn't be on TV weekly at all.
No, at all. Maybe do a promo once every week or every other week, but don't do a match every week where you go 15 minutes with somebody who you know is not going to win the match. You know he's not going to win a match against Frankie Kazarian or fucking whoever it is, Matt Cardona. So you know he's not going to win. So the fact that he goes 15, 20 minutes, it deludes the mystique.
Right. So the two of them, Kingston was with Moxley last year in the main event of Full Gear that we did that show.
Yes.
The live stream.
We live streamed that one?
We live streamed that show. Remember that was the one that Tim's dad came busting into in the middle of. And he was like, "What is this shit on my TV?
What's this fucking fake bullshit?"
He was not happy.
Yeah, he's like, "This shit's fucking fake. I want to hear some Tim McGraw."
Yeah. He
But
does.
then
like
what was funny?
Cholet.
What was funny was then he wasn't happy to Tim, but then when he left, he said sorry, sir, as he was leaving his own home to me and Berger, as we were looking at him, kind of hey, you ruined our shit. He's like, "I'm sorry, sir."
That was funny. Yeah, I was surprised that he was he was willing to bow down like he did.
Right.
To me and Kirk, he was very sorry. And then before he left, he was like, "You're the reason me and your mommy got a divorce. You fucking piece of shit." That's what he said to me, at least. I don't know if you heard him, but
No, he tells me that too.
well, I was telling him, I was like, "Don't tell that to Tim. He already struggles enough."
Yeah, some people have it easy,
So what's the next match?
Okay, so the next one, a Falls Count Anywhere match between the Super Click and Christian Cage and Jurassic Express.
Super Click?
Yeah.
Did you just make that up?
No, that's Adam Cole and the Young Bucks.
Is that what they're calling themselves?
Or the Super Click or the all, I think that's what the webpage said. I thought it was the Super Elite or something like that, but I guess the Super Click is what it's literally what whatever webpage I copy and pasted this off of this lineup. But what's interesting is that a year ago, the Young Bucks were facing FTR for the tag titles at this show.
Okay. Wow.
And
Been there that long.
But the pay-per-view before that, the Young Bucks were facing the Jurassic Express, so not much changed.
Yeah,
It always seems like when in doubt, the Young Bucks are facing the Jurassic guys.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that'll be a match. In one of the few matches I can say I'm actually looking forward to, yeah, MJF and Darby Allen.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
MJF and Darby Allen should be really good.
I'm not the biggest fan of like flips and unnecessary flops and dives and stuff, but Darby kind of does it in a way that makes sense, so that should be good.
Yeah, he's kind of like Rey Mysterio in a way that it's like his offense is a way to make up for his inability to be hard hitting.
Right.
So you guys actually like Darby Allen?
I like Darby Allen.
I don't hate him. You know what I mean? Like it's there to sense like I'm not gonna watch him and I'm not gonna go, this is fantastic, this is great, this guy's doing great stuff. But he doesn't necessarily do stuff that offends me. When he does, I'll point it out.
I'm always offended by the videos of him getting like
Well, that stuff's dumb. Yeah, that's
attacked with
that's
skateboards and shit.
But when the actual like
they're
when
always
it goes
using
down
his
the
own
ring,
skateboard to hurt him, like
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah. Well, he also uses it as his big equalizer sometimes. Okay. Let's see. Then so now we're getting championship territory. So the tag titles, the Lucha Brothers are taking on FTR.
Okay.
So FTR lost them a year ago at this pay-per-view. So they're either going to get them back or the Lucha Brothers are going to hold on to it. And
FTR lost the titles?
a year ago.
I don't know they ever had the title. Of tag team title.
We've watched every pay-per-view that they've done.
You guys have paid for all that bullshit.
And you aren't paying enough attention to even bother to remember any of this shit?
It turns out, no, I guess not.
God
No.
damn.
I don't remember that. I don't
Anyways,
remember FTR ever having the titles.
They were the champions for like 6 months last year.
No way.
What is FTR again?
God.
They were they're like the wrestler tag team. Like they came from WWE. They
Those are just like the plain buff guys.
I wouldn't call them buff, but they're like they wear like kind of. If you saw them, you know who they are.
Yeah,
I think they're forgettable.
Yeah, like you said, they're people who like really good fake wrestling. They're really good at faking wrestling.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Indian FTR. That thing's sweet. She's been shopping for my next hog, you know.
But the Lucha Brothers are just like kind of pretty new champions. They haven't done much, so I feel like
these are just
no. They won in the cage
they're bland
match
buff guys
against Young Bucks.
Yeah, I know. And
Don't tell me they're not buff guys.
Why? I mean, they're
well,
buff
I know, but
compared
compared
to
like,
us.
Compared to Darby Allen.
No, but compared to like, there's like Will Hobbs and Brian Cage. Those guys are buff, like steroid, like ripped.
Like,
are those guys are just current?
Yeah. So I didn't know. Maybe you meant.
Well, Will Hobbs.
Yeah, because it's different. It's like when you see somebody really good looking on the movies, and it's like, oh yeah, they're like a 6 or a 7 or something. But then you see them, and if that was somebody you knew in real life, you'd say that's the most beautiful person I know.
Right. See, those guys are buff by normal person standards.
Right, but by wrestling standards, they're standard and they're sort of lackluster.
But then I don't know. You've got Orange Cassidy and Darby Allen and the other guy you were just talking about who's coming back, who's actually been back for a few fights now. Who was that?
CM Punk.
And then those guys aren't very buff.
No, they're not. You're right.
And then there's a bunch of old
by
dudes
wrestling standards,
like the mime who are just like they can't be buff anymore. They're too old.
But he is buff. Sting still is like one of the biggest
He
guys on
doesn't
the roster.
he doesn't look buff though.
He does when you compare him to
I
Darby
look
Allin.
up Sting and he plays guitar. I
No.
know Sting plays guitar.
Sting's a bass player.
That's Sting from the Police.
So it's different. It's not very buff.
But he can have sex for like 4 hours. He's into that like tantric sex.
Marathon sex. Which is great
Is
if
that
you're on
even?
ecstasy.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything to do, I guess that's fine. Got shit to do, you know.
The World Championship Eliminator Final, Bryan Danielson and Miro.
Okay.
It was going to be John Moxley, but he went to rehab, so Miro came in and filled
Perfect.
in.
Perfect. That
Yeah.
John Moxley, who is
The plumber.
The worst.
the
Plumber,
honestly, I think, and I want this to be on record. I think John Moxley is one of the worst professional wrestlers in history. And I never thought that when he was Dean Ambrose.
He's so cool with the eye patch, though.
I never thought it when he was in WWF. I just thought he was just, Joe Blow.
He looks like
fucking,
he
I don't give
just
a
like
shit.
is yelling at his kid, and he's like,
He's a phony.
"You let the dog out."
No, there's mud in the house. I work at Boeing.
Yeah.
And I don't.
No, this guy's a flagger on a construction
I'm really,
site.
really particular about things being really clean and tidy, and I don't like clutter because I work at Boeing. My name's John Moxley.
I hate when I get home. There's all this clutter. What are you doing all day? I've been working.
That's right. I've been doing laundry. What do you mean? There's laundry everywhere. You've been taking it down to the river and beating it with a rock.
What's with these white stains on my shirt? That's from your deodorant. Shut up.
Stupid bitch.
Yep, that's John Moxley.
That's John Moxley, and he sucks at wrestling.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. He sucks
So
at wrestling.
I think Miro and Daniel Bryan will be pretty good.
I think so as well. I think it'll be a fun match.
Mm-hmm.
Women's Championship, Britt Baker and Ty Conte. Britt Baker's cool. I really don't know much about Tay Conte.
I don't either. She's blonde and she's got nice tits, I guess. So I guess the match will be okay for some people.
Woo!
All right.
The Minneapolis street fight.
Because they're in Minneapolis.
Yeah, the Inner Circle is going to take on an America Top Team. Like Dan Lambert.
Oh, God.
Dan Lambert, Gio Dos Santos, and Andre Orlovsky, and Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It's not going to be good at all. It's going to be very bad. That's going to be a very bad match.
And I think that I really think the logic would be to have Jake Hager join American Top Team.
There you go.
The Inner Circle, but
They're not going to do that.
Happen.
They're not going to do that. That would make too much sense, and it would be too good. It'd make way too much sense.
And then our main event, in a rematch from last year's Full Gear that we saw, and instead of being the first match of the night, it'll be the last match of the night. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page for the World Championship. A year in the making.
Those guys.
Yeah, so
They
if
just
Adam...
can't get along.
Right?
Yeah.
They've been...
So weird.
It makes more sense for Kenny Omega to win and then go on to defend the title against somebody who matters.
Long-term storybooking, buddy. Like,
yeah, it's not because
you know,
then if Adam Page wins, it's like
they're
what
the tag team champions, and then they had FTR come and infiltrate them and make Adam Page think they were all right dudes, and then they cost them the belts. And that's what caused Omega to start going heel.
Right. Yeah, I don't... The only thing that would make sense from this is that Kenny Omega wins the match in some kind of heel manner. They could at least do it in some kind of heel manner to where maybe Adam Page 6 months from now can challenge somebody at some point. Because having
There's
him
too
win...
much.
You know what they're going to do, though? Adam Page is going to go over, and then he's going to drop the title probably sometime on one of their weekly shows, or maybe at the next pay-per-view.
Well, the next pay-per-view
or he turns heel.
Next pay-per-view will be February.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say it's January 5th or 8th. One of those two is the first AEW special on TNT that's supposed to be like a Clash of Champions, so like a pay-per-view level show on TV.
Okay.
They're starting to do that part of their deals kicking in.
So I think
they did similar thing last year where Omega got the championship title shot and then did it on a special edition, like a Clash of Champions style Dynamite. Hangman Page would have to face Miro would have to win if Hangman Page won the title. No, what's going to happen?
Page is going to win. That's my prediction. Page is going to win.
I think that the Dark Order is going to turn on Adam Page, and it'll be like someone like Bray Wyatt or whatever is going to debut to then divert Adam Page from the Omega storyline for now.
There you go.
In order to have him on a different quest to get revenge from them, which could then even split up part of the Dark Order. I don't know, but that'll keep his attention occupied. And then Omega will be champion and will face Bryan Danielson. I think Omega will stay champ. I don't see Omega needing to lose the title at any point really soon. There's no point of doing it.
But I'm not thinking of it logically. I'm thinking of it as AEW booking. So if we're ordering a pay-per-view now. Omega's been champion forever, and people have been sort of not really thirsting, but kind of rooting for the Adam Page victory because he was kind of screwed out.
No, but the only reason why anyone thinks it's going to happen is because they just say, "Well, it's supposed to happen."
Well, and he won the number one contenders match.
Huh?
He won like a number one contenders match.
Okay.
So
Justin
they've been teasing.
Justin Gaethje just beat Michael Chandler in what was called a number one contenders match and could go and lose to the winner of Poirier and Oliveira, no problem.
I'm talking about fake wrestling.
Well, I know, but just because you win a number one contenders match doesn't mean you automatically win the title.
But I'm also thinking AEW booking.
Yeah, but
they're going to be like, well, Adam Page deserves his moment. That's how they're going to look at it.
But if they were going to do that, they would have done it before.
But they didn't because when and that whole thing that they were doing where they were building Adam Page to be the next champion, which they were going to do, then they got Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and they got all these guys coming in. So then they sort of put the kibosh on that. But this pay-per-view, they're going to do Adam Page. That's my guess. That's my prediction. And he's not going to hold the title for any more than...
It just doesn't make sense.
6 months. Well, of course it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it makes sense.
No, but it doesn't even make sense in their story. The story wouldn't make sense for him with where everyone else is at. Who would be his challenger? You're not going to have him and Bryan Danielson face each other. Why would you do that? So you're saying Miro is going to win the number one contendership and then face Page? And Page is going to be a champion for a while?
Daniel Bryan's going to win.
And face Page?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
Are you sure?
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Of course it doesn't. But they do all this. They love to do the babyface stuff, and then they can have one where Page will defend the championship against Daniel Bryan, and maybe he'll lose. I don't know, but they wouldn't have a problem doing that match and then having some kind of a finish that.
Then what do you do with Omega? You leave Omega completely unoccupied.
That's fine.
That's fine.
He can face.
That's not fine if you're looking at it from trying to book it as them.
He can do a program with CM Punk.
But why?
Because
Kenny Omega and CM Punk.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Because Omega, CM
it makes
Punk.
more sense with Omega and Bryan right now.
I'm just saying that's just my prediction. I'm not saying anything makes sense. I'm not saying I want anything to happen. That's just my That's just me thinking a spastic, autistic kid who shouldn't have any money but does, and he's booking a wrestling territory.
I figure you're not giving them enough credit
Based on their history.
You're so special.
I think that there's enough to look at it like it's not going to pan out in the most obvious way.
What's the obvious way?
The way you're saying it's going to happen. It's too obvious that's like the angle. If all the schmarks and marks and everyone are going, oh yeah, well Paige is going to win the title for a while, but they all are like, well, we don't know what they're going to do afterwards. It just means that they're all going with that because that's what they think is going to happen. So when it doesn't happen, then all of a sudden they're going to give credit to how great a swerve that was and how, that's a real swerve. And I didn't see that coming from wherever. And this opens up so many more possibilities for everything. Oh my God, what a great swerve. And then, the track record shows I'll be sitting there going, see, I told you guys, it's not that great of a swerve if I can come up with it. Just saying. They've been showing Dissension in the Dark Order on their TV for weeks now. Right, we all know Bray Wyatt's going to be coming in at some point.
Yes.
So
and he has to lead.
That's
what he did in WWF.
But he has to lead he ran a cult in WWF with Brody Lee, who was the leader of the Dark Order. So it only makes logical sense,
of course,
for Bray Wyatt to come in and take over the Dark Order. But it also makes sense that some of the goofy comedy dudes who are in the Dark Order would fall to the wayside or be kind of fodder allies of Adam Page. It also makes more sense to go well, that guy really isn't there yet. Adam Page isn't a world championship guy. Remember, Adam Page was in the first world championship match that they had. And everyone said he was going to probably be the first champion. And who won? Jericho. So I'm just saying that just because he's the number one contender doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to end up falling this way.
Yeah.
Just saying, they want long-term storytelling, and here's your long-term storytelling.
But that's why I think they're going to put the belt on Paige, because in their minds, that's going to be their long-term storytelling.
They should really tell the story of Jesus.
Because I think they sort of have kind of a short-minded. They say it's long-term storytelling, but they're going to do a short-minded thing.
The fans, remember, the fans and all the fanboys are the ones that are praising this as long-term storytelling. When in reality, it wasn't really that. It wasn't like this was some long-ass plan. They were planning that the whole wrestling world was already crowning this as one of the greatest long-term stories leading up to the last pay-per-view, right before they pulled Paige out to go on maternity leave. So it's really not, it's not like this is something that I feel like AEW is like, oh, this is our grand plan. I think that they're logically going to look at it and go, how can we get more out of it? The thing in professional wrestling that used to happen all the time before the monthly shows was, how can we get more out of it? Whether it was the right thing to do or not, how can we get more out of it?
Right.
Lex Luger was supposed to beat Ric Flair at Bash of the Beach 88 or Great American Bash 88, but he didn't. And then he faced him at Starrcade and he was supposed to beat him then, and he didn't. And then he faced him in fucking Capital Combat in 1990, and he didn't. And he didn't win the world title until fucking 1991. But he was getting title shots all the way dated back to 1988. So, and I'm not saying that was the right way to do it. And a lot of people look at Lex Luger as if he was like this choke artist or whatever. But a lot of times their plan was, oh, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. And it's not time yet to put the belt on. And
I agree.
If they put the belt on him, then they put the belt on him. And I'm wrong. But I'm just saying it's not the right time to go with that guy. That guy does not mean nearly half as much as some of those people. He doesn't mean as much as Eddie Kingston even means. So what? Like, it doesn't have to happen.
No, I agree.
He's not gonna lose any kind of steam if he gets screwed.
Right. I agree. I just think they'll do it. I think it won't make sense, and I don't want them to do it, and I don't think there's absolutely no point in doing it because there's no benefit of putting the belt on Paige.
There's not enough
support. There's not enough
foundation already laid.
Right.
You know,
but
the foundation is already laid. It feels like it's already laid for a pathway to be taken with weaving in these other storylines that all it does is make the lure of your program that you've been trying to create for your entirety to find a storylines are what make the show week to week. Matches are the payoff of your storylines. And now they have avenues to go where you have multiple storylines going on that could be really interesting. And yet, if they go with Adam Page for the title, it completely torpedoes those other storylines.
Yeah. So,
I just feel like Tony Khan obviously isn't a dumb guy. And I hope that he sees through that more. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that he sees through it and that Omega will win.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
He'll escape by the hair of his chin.
And thus concludes the Brood and the Fruit fake shit
preview. We want to watch along with this in the commentary going on. You can see for yourself, or you can just hear us react to it. This Saturday, November 13th, Twitch. There's UFC going on at 1 p.m. for free. So I don't know.
Is that another one in the Middle East?
No, it's in Las Vegas, but there must be something else going on that night. The reason why they're going early. And Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez or something are fighting, and Max Holloway's a beast. I want to watch that. We're gonna be barbecuing before turn the grill into a smoker. But I was gonna say, if depending on how early and motivated we were about getting stuff going, we might actually join in early and for UFC if it's still going. But the pay-per-view pre-show starts at 4, and the main card starts at 5, and we'll be live on Twitch. Like I said, you'll be able to call in. We'll have a number for you to call in if that's what the deal is, or we'll be calling people. And yeah, hit us up on email and Twitter.
Yeah.
But that'll be this Saturday, November 13th. Hopefully sometime around between 1 and 4 o'clock we'll be on live on Twitch, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And then depending on the show, a successful casino run. All right, well, that's it for today's episode of The Brute and the Fruit. Burger's gone mute, apparently.
Sorry.
We'll see you next time.
You can... Hey. Nah, fuck it.